TikTok isn't just for kids. It's also for adults who want to learn how to do things like cook and be entertained at the same time. That's how our next guest found her audience, turning food hacks and healthy recipes into millions of views. Joining us today to share her dessert recipe for fudgy avocado brownies is TikTok chef Kathleen Ashmore. Hey, Kathleen, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Maggie. Thanks so much for having me. And thank you for encouraging me to bake brownies at 10 o'clock in the morning. Though I would probably be doing that anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly when you should make brownies. Not everyone would think, though, to put avocados in their brownies. How did you come up with that?
Right. So for me, it made a lot of sense because avocados are a high-fat food, healthy fats, but a high-fat food. So to use avocado in place of the traditional butter or oil that you would use in a traditional brownie just kind of made science sense to me. And when I experimented with it, I was really happy with the results. My kids couldn't detect that there were avocado in it, and that to me was the ultimate stamp of approval.
Ah, so it replaces the butter or the oil. That's brilliant. I also see, I know you're going to show us how you do it, but I see a blender. Now, yes. I've never used a blender. I mix it either with a hand mixer or just my, my spatula. You use a blender for this?
I do. I use a blender. Not only is it incredibly easy because you literally just dump all of the ingredients in the blender and it does the work for you, but because we really want to make sure that the avocado is really well blended. No one wants to see little green chunks of avocado in their brownies, even me. So the blender does a really good job of mixing it super well for you.
All right. Well, I'm excited. Will you show us your recipe?
Absolutely. Great. So we are going to start with the start of the show. 1 large avocado diced. Go right in your blender. This is a great use for avocados that are starting to get a little bit too ripe on you. You don't want to use an avocado that is hard. That'll be hard to mix into the brownie batter. Next, I've got 2 large room temperature eggs. I'm going to go right in. And the last of our wet ingredients is a 1/4 cup of brewed coffee. You can just steal this from your coffee pot in the morning. You can use cold brew. Now, it's not essential to use coffee. I've had a lot of people ask, can I use something else? You can use water, you can use almond milk, but coffee actually brings out the flavors of chocolate. It doesn't make the brownie taste anything like coffee. It simply makes it taste more fudgy and decadent and chocolatey, which we all want, right?
Right.
So next I've got 2/3 cup of coconut sugar. I like to use coconut sugar because it's an all-natural sweetener derived from the coconut palm leaf. Now you can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar, maple syrup. This is a really adaptable recipe, and that's something that I'm always mindful of. I want as many people as possible to be able to make my recipes, so I always call for some substitutions in case you don't have this on hand. Next, I've got 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Any kind you like. This is going to make it really nice and fudgy for you. And then I've got 1/2 cup of flour. I'm using oat flour here, which is actually very easy to make. You can buy it at the store, but you truly just add oats to a blender and you get oat flour in about 20 seconds.
You like the blender?
Yeah, that blender. I'm a big fan of the blender if you haven't caught on by now. But you can also use all-purpose flour. You can use almond flour. Again, really adaptable. Then I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is going to be our leavening agent, and it's going to allow our brownies to rise. And then I've just got a 1/4 teaspoon of fine kosher salt. I put salt in all of my baked goods because I find that salt brings out the sweetness of baked goods, which sounds a little bit counterintuitive. I also put it on fruit. You would be surprised. You put a little bit of salt on some pineapple or some mango, and it tastes even sweeter.
Yeah, I put it on my chocolate chip cookies. I'm a big fan of the salt on the sweet, too.
Absolutely, that sweet and salty thing. I can never get enough of that. Okay, so we are just gonna blend this up in a high-speed blender. You do wanna have your tamper or a wooden spoon, something to encourage the mix to keep going because we don't have a lot of liquid in here. It will kind of stall on you, but it only takes about 30 seconds. So we're gonna blend it just for a couple seconds. So this is going to go in at 400 for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, beautiful.
You don't want to overbake them. You want them to be nice and fudgy. And this is what they look like when they come out. They are a deep, dark chocolate. You can see here, they are incredibly fudgy and decadent, and no one would ever guess that there was avocado.
Wow, makes me want to reach through the screen for them. Thank you so much, Kathleen. We're going to post that recipe.
Welcome.
Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to post the recipe on our website, which is daytimeonline.tv. And you can find Kathleen, she's got a lot of good videos, on TikTok at Cat Can Cook. Daytime, we'll be right back.